Hey guys, this is Kent Hamilton from Crypto Day Trader, and today I want to share with you an exciting new ICO called indaHash and do an ICO review for you. I want to take you through the entire process that I go through to research and assess an ICO, and I compare the value of that to other ICOs and altcoins. So indaHash, the ICO just started on the 29th, which is today. So I wanted to go over it real quick and put this out there so you guys can check it out. So first of all, indaHash says they're an award-winning app which connects over 300,000 influencers from over 70 markets with global brands. Our mission is to tokenize the entire influencer industry to solve major issues between brands, influencers, and their audiences. Our crypto economics implies circulation of the indaHash coin among all of these groups and creates a new type of relationship and added value. What in the world does that mean? So first, what is an influencer? So an influencer is basically a social media star with a large following. It could be a YouTuber, Instagram star, popular Twitter account that has a ton of followers. Anybody who has a large influence on a social media account is considered influencer. Musically stars. Anyway, the list goes on. Next, what are the global brands there? Who are the global brands they work with? Let's see. McDonald's, KFC, Fanta, Electrolux, Dan One Yogurt, Nestle, chocolate. Also, let's see. There's some other brands they work with here. Where did that go? Anyway. There's a ton of other brands, global brands they work with. You can see it on their website. And whenever I'm looking at an ICO, I don't want to waste too much time on the company until I look at their token metrics, which determines their value. So I'm going to show you that next. Here we go. So step one, I'm going to go through this entire formula I use to determine the value of the ICO. Step one, get the current value of Ethereum. And I'll tell you why this is important later. But the current value of one Ethereum, you use Ethereum to buy the token with, the indaHash or ICO token, by the way. So the value of one Ethereum currently is $464.21. Step two, figure out how many indaHash tokens equals one Ethereum. So one Ethereum equals 3,840 indaHash tokens. Let me show you the indaHash page that shows you this. This is their token metrics, and you can see the dates, the percentages, bonuses you get, and how much indaHash or indaHash tokens equals one Ethereum starting today. Their max hard cap is 320 million indaHash. They already reached 40 million in the pre-ICO. So let's see. I'm going to do some calculations here for you now. So let's calculate the ICO token price. Basically, you take the current Ethereum price and divide the amount of ICO indaHash tokens per ETH. So if you look, it was 3,840 indaHash. So let's take $464.21, the price of one Ether, divided by 3,840 tokens per Ether. That equals 12 cents, basically. So now, to get the estimated market cap to know the value of this ICO when it launches, take the 12 cent, which is the indaHash token price, and multiply it times the maximum hard cap value or a total supply of tokens that this ICO is going for, and it was 320 million. So if you multiply those together, that equals 38,684,166. This is the targeted hard market cap this ICO is trying to achieve during the ICO. Next thing I do is take this amount, this 38 million. I go to the top 100 coins and compare. And the reason I do that is because I want to see if this is in line or how hard it will be for this token to increase in value. Let's say 1 to 2 times return on investment in a short period of time is kind of what I'm looking for, at least. So if you look at the top 100 coins from CoinMarketCap, you'll see Bitcoin is number 1, obviously. But if you scroll down to the 100th one, that the current market cap for that one is $55 million. So to be honest with you, there are a lot of, I don't know how to say it, crap tokens and altcoins from the 50 to 100 in the top 100 list. So if they come out of the ICO, indaHash comes out at 38 million, they will be below the top 100 coins. And so to me, they're definitely more valuable than a lot of these coins. They are already a currently successful company with 300,000 influencers with a lot of revenue flowing through the company already. So just having a working product alone puts them above a lot of these coins. And the first thing I look at when I look at these coins here is if IDH or indaHash was to increase in value by 1 times to make double my money, they would have to reach, 2 times 38 million, almost 80 million. So they would have to reach the top 79 to 80 range tokens or coins. I definitely see that being an easily achievable goal. And another thing to think about is indaHash may not reach their market cap of 38 million, and they may come out of the ICO having a hard cap or a market cap of less than 38 million, which would make it easier for them to double in value. But let's just say they do reach it. So they would have to be in the top 78, 79 coins to double the value, which is, I think, for this company, pretty easily achievable. And I mean, that's pretty much how I compare coins. I want to get at least a 1 to 2 return on investment before I make a decision. I do this first before I even move on, because if I think their market cap's too high compared to some of their ICO, these other altcoins, then there's no need in going any further. But I do think they can easily double or triple their value pretty quickly. So let's move on. The next thing I go to is how the token will be used in the ecosystem. What I mean is some ICOs use the tokens just to raise money. Like let's have an ICO and let's raise millions of dollars and we'll have a lot of money. They don't really use the token in their product where it will increase in value. So I definitely want to see how a token uses the token in their product. So this, in their white paper, indaHash's white paper, shows you not every detail, but basically how the token will be used in their product. I can read through this, but basically the brands pay indaHash with cash or transfers of indaHash coins for campaigns. So an influencer will get involved with a brand campaign. The brand will pay in cash or indaHash tokens. Why is that valuable for an influencer? Well, you can see here, an influencer will get early access to products and services from brands. So basically they can get access to things they normally couldn't by just using cash. It's an incentive to use the IDH tokens. That's a good thing. The second thing is indaHash is allowing influencers or the social media stars to pay their followers, which is amazing. So they can actually give rewards to their followers with the indaHash coins. So there's 2 ways they're using the indaHash coins already in the ecosystem. Influencers use indaHash tokens to create their own tokens and reward audiences. Fans exchange tokens for personalized and exclusive interactions with the influencers. Followers of highly successful influencers always want to get in touch with their the influencer themselves. And sometimes it looks like these IDH tokens or coins will allow them to have exclusive access to some of these influencers. Anyway, so that's how it's being used in the product. To me, that's a big deal. So now I would actually move on to the next step, which is the company and the team. So let's look at the company. Let me bring it over here. So the indaHash team, Barbara is the CEO. So a lot of people that review ICOs go through the development team and see if they've worked at large companies, that sort of thing. I don't completely agree with that assessment, and I don't think the team is the most important thing, although I think the leadership, like CEO, COO, that sort of thing, are more important to where they're going to direct and drive a company. So if we look at Barbara, she actually co-founded a company or a couple of companies before, one being LifeTube, very successful company. She sold in 2016. She was named Ernst Young Entrepreneur of the Year in 2016, and a couple other awards here. The COO helped digitize the Newsweek brand. So right away, to me, having an all-star leadership team is way more important to me than having an all-star development team. Why do I say that? I've been a developer for 17 years myself, and it's hard to assess the talent and skill of a developer based on just looking at their LinkedIn profile. That's just what I've come to learn and from my own experience. So to me, having strong leadership is very important, and they score very high on this based on what I've read so far. The next thing I look at after the team is the hype and social awareness of the company. And what I mean by that is, this is kind of harder and subjective, but what I like to do is look at how many times this brand or this ICO was mentioned on social media accounts. You can go to Google and type in indaHash ICO, but I actually like to go to BuzzSumo. And you can pay for this, but you can also use a little of it for free. I type in indaHash ICO or name your ICO name ICO, and I see how many shares in social media that this brand has gotten. And indaHash has gotten a ton of social media shares. You can see this, 165,000 Facebook shares or engagements. You can just go through this list and see, compare this to other ICOs, and indaHash is one of the top I have ever seen of an ICO for having social media mentions for their ICO. So to me, this is a rock star social media. Mentions. You go through Pinterest, Twitter, and the number of links, total shares. This is huge. And why is that important? Well, if a company has a lot of hype behind it, then you're going to get a lot of investors interested and a lot of people interested in actually using the product, which is just as important as how valuable the token is to initial investors. All right, after I look at that, I try to just look at their roadmap briefly. I'm not going to go through this in detail because there's a lot of information in here, but you can see, every step of the way through 2000, even through the end of 2018, synopsis of their plans. And what I like about this is you can kind of, I hate to say this, but you can kind of time the news or the rumors or when they're going to release a product or a feature or do a big push on marketing, so you'll know when the price of the token may increase or decrease. And if they don't hit these dates, that could affect the price too. So the roadmap is very important. But what I like, every dot or every piece on this roadmap tells me that every time they make an announcement, the potential for the price of the token and the demand for it can go up. So this, you can read through this on the white paper. I mean, but this is a pretty big deal. They're going to have a wallet, integrated for their influencers to make it easy for them to use the IDH coins for people that are not as familiar with cryptocurrencies. A massive promotional and educational campaign in 15 major companies in April 2018. This will create a lot of buzz. So anyway, I really like what they're doing in this roadmap and what it tells me. The last thing you can do is, technically you can go see if they have working code on GitHub or other websites if they're open source. In this case, indaHash is already a very successful company, so we don't really have to go see if they have working code. The product is already working, and 300,000 people are already using it. That pretty much sums up my indaHash ICO review. I like to give it a score from 1 to 10, and I give this one a 9. I mean, this is about as good as you can get on everything on my list when I'm checking an ICO and comparing it against other ICOs. This is one of the top ICOs I have researched, and I research them every day. So anyway, my score is a 9, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video.